What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we're back here in the basement for the Brisbane Lions versus Carlton Blues finals match. Before we get into that, subscribe, bell notice, hit the like button, drop your comments down below, and we'll get into this game right now. I told you all they were going to win. What a domination in this game that I just watched. What domination by the Lions. I told you these guys were hungry. They barely lost in the premiership last year, and now they're coming back strong. They're hungry, and they're going to take that grand final this year. I said it. Look what they did to the Blues. Now, before we get into this, I have to give a shout out to those great Aussies that have been helping me along the way in my footy journey. This is my second season in. I'm confident with about 80% of what's going on out there. Very confident. I just want to give shout outs to Flex and Wayback and Mick and Tony and Bag of Dave and Bon. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I don't think I did. And Flip. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody that has been helping me. All of those names I just shouted out have been helping me tremendously in this footy journey. What an incredible, fun sport. The athleticism is insane. I never thought that I would get so much into this sport as much as I have. So, that being said, the Lions came out, and you know I love taking my notes. I take notes during the game. I listen to the announcers, and I really got into this quite a bit. Now, I do remember last season, the Lions met the Blues, moved on to their first grand final in 15 years. 15 years, and fell just short to the Pies. Just short. But man, that was an incredible first premiership I ever got to see. First grand final I ever got to see. That was an amazing one. So I'm assuming that's one of the greatest grand finals of all time. Not just because I saw it, but I mean, that was a pretty damn good one, was it not? Now, coming into this season, Lions lost 5 of their first 7 games, mainly due to injuries. They turned it around. They got into the final 8. They took off, got into the final 8. The Blues, on the other hand, was I think they were 15th after 15 rounds. They were 15th. Then they won 9 straight, took out number 1 Sydney, took out Melbourne just to meet the Lions at the Gabba, where we are right now. The Lions have, I think, 199 games of experience when it comes to the finals, to the Blues 82. That's a big difference right there, and did it show in that first quarter? What was that? Did anybody tell the Blues that the game started? I'm watching it, and it was it started out very slow. It was like 2 boxers coming out and just testing each other out, and they were just coming out, and there was no real attacks. Everybody was just waiting for the other person to make the first move. But then it started seeming that the Lions were starting to get it going. They only had 2 behinds in the first 12 minutes. Only 2 behinds, that was it. They started getting it going. They started moving. The Blues just didn't look like they could get it together. It looked like there was grease on the ball for them. They couldn't handle any passes. They couldn't handle any type of transaction of the ball to each other, anything. The transitions were terrible, and they were all crowded together, it seems. If you're crowded together, how are you supposed to move the ball effectively and distribute it properly if your teammates are standing here and he's here and he's here? I know that happens in footy, but there was no spreading out of the field. How are you going to make that work if you're not spreading it out? If you're not spreading the field out and you're just clustered together, it's not going to work. I'm a huge hockey fan. You can't have 3 wingers all standing on the same side of the ice. Where are you going to pass the puck? Everybody's going to crowd to you. The Lions played it perfectly. The defense they played was outstanding. 35-0 in the first quarter. At the end of quarter time, that hasn't happened since 1974. North Melbourne against Richmond, I'm going to say, and that it hasn't happened since then. 1974. Had a team been shut out in the first quarter? My question to you guys is, has it ever happened in the first half? Because it almost did. It almost happened in the first half. The Blues were almost shut out entirely in the first half until Captain Patrick Cripps came through and scored that goal. 57 minutes into the game. 57 minutes into the game. That is a pure dominance, pure shutdown. I thought the Blues were just going to give up. So it seemed that the premiership quarter, thank you guys for telling me that the third quarter, I always ask, how come the third quarter is always a blowout? One team always just gets their doors completely blown off in the third quarter. I never understand why. Now people have told me it's the championship quarter, it's the premiership quarter, because that's the quarter that determines it all. Well, it seems that quarter was the first half. It seemed like the first half was the premiership half, because that the second half, the Blues woke up oh, the game started, because they won both halves. I mean, they won both quarters, third and fourth, 19-11, and I think it was 37-25. Off the top of my head, or 37-29, whatever the case. They won the second half, but too little, too late, guys. Too little, too late. And one big thing that happened in that first half, the Blues got all uptight, and they were getting dominated. And I get it. Human emotion comes in, but you're professionals. You are a professional. While you're sitting there pushing and slamming guys around and pushing and shoving and starting fights, here comes Joe Danaher, who pretty much did a footy version of a slam dunk. Just took the ball, walked right up to the goal, and smacked it through. Be just a couple of feet away from the goal. He smacked it right through there. It would be like a slam dunk, like a wide open boom, boom, like a wide open slam dunk. Because your team is just, mentally they were gone in that first half. When you start getting into stupid beefs and stupid pushing and shoving, meanwhile, the play is still going on. The play is still going on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nobody paid attention. There it is. That's just another wasted goal. That was horrible, and that right there summed up the entire first half of the Blues. Summed it up entirely. You can't lose your emotions on the field and make your team pay for it, because that's what happened. Danaher literally just took the ball and just slam dunked it. That's what he did. It's absolutely insane that the Blues came out this poorly when having such a great run at the end of the season. I mean, that is pretty impressive to be that far out after 15 rounds and then just go on a tear. Don't get it. And then the second half you wake up. Doesn't make any sense. Mike Voss has to be blamed a little bit. Your coaching in the first half, there was no adjustments made. No in-game transitions. No in-game transactions, nothing. They didn't adjust. They made all the proper adjustments at halftime, it appeared. But where was that in the first half? Your ship is sinking. You gotta plug holes differently. You gotta change your strategy. Scrap the original plan and get your strategy back. You can't do it. We had a guy, the New York Rangers head coach Gerard Gallant, a couple of years ago. He was 57 games above 500 in the 2 years that he took over the team. We were the number one team. Everybody was killing it. You know what happened in the playoffs? Made no changes. If we were losing, just made no changes. We lost in the championship round, and then the next year we lost in the first round to a very young New Jersey Devil team. That shouldn't have happened. You know why? He didn't make any no transitions in the game. No in-game adjustments. Just my guys can beat your guys kind of mentality. Yeah, your record's really great. You're all these 55 plus above 500. You know what the GM did? See ya. You're out. You got rid of them. That's it. Doesn't matter. The stats don't tell the whole story. Coaching comes in very huge in these situations, especially when you're in the finals. It's different than the regular season. I know it. I watch enough sports to know that you get to the playoffs, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, it's different. And I know Voss is experienced. I'm just saying it's different. You got to make those adjustments because the Lions just that first half was all they needed. 61-13 at the end of the first half. Wow. Now you can look at the rest of the way. They only scored 38 points in the second half total. If Blues played like that for a whole game, the Lions probably wouldn't have won. But we did. They did win. And Will Ashcroft getting a nice finals experience. He hit the goal of the year last year. He had that horrendous knee injury, which put him out till they came back around midseason this year. So the Lions overcame a lot to get to where they are right now. They overcame a lot. But, the first quarter and the second quarter started out very slow, and then it just took off. It's a shame. Sorry, Bag of Dave. I'm sorry, man. You've been very helpful to me on this channel and very helpful in my footy journey. I'm sorry about your Blues, man. I'm sorry. The Bears are on a mission. The Bears are on a mission. We're going to win. We're going to win the whole thing. Unless we don't. We're going to win, though. Anyway, guys, I so appreciate all of the help that you guys have given me. This has been a fun journey. This sport is amazing. And the reason I got into it, just a footnote for everybody that said, well, how did you get so into this sport? It's based in Australia only. The reason I got into it, if you don't know the story, I did a I did a video, just hard hit videos, like a lot of people do. I do a lot of these hard hit videos. Everybody wants to see someone get smacked around. They want to see someone get destroyed. And I kept calling footy rugby. I called it like 9 or 10 times in the video. You know how I know that? Because a lot of Australians were saying, look at this American, look at this American, look at this American, calling our sport rugby. And when one guy said, dude, that'd be like me calling you ice hockey, field hockey, I got it. And I get it. And instead of coming back and making a huge argument out of the deal, I said, why? I'm passionate about my sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football. I'm very passionate about those sports. So I respect people that are passionate about their own. I said, I want to see what this footy's all about. Let me see why these people are so passionate about their sport. So I started watching games. And it was the off season, so I started watching a lot of replay of games on YouTube. And then I started getting into it, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. I thought those Poles were kicking field goals. I'm not kidding. I thought they were kicking field goals. And I'll say, wow, look at that. He passed the 50. He's, like the 50-yard line. I had no idea what was going on. None. And a lot of the guys that I shouted out in the beginning, a lot of those guys saved me and helped me along the way so I could understand it better. That's when I found out about the Specky. That Specky sold me on the sport. That is the greatest move in sports. And I understand it's also called a screamer. Whatever. The fact that you can jump on someone's shoulders there and crack down on them and grab that ball and there's nothing, no penalties, no nothing. That is a pure athletic move because half the time these guys are getting slammed into the ground. So I'm not one of those back and forth people that's going to be like, well, I didn't or I was embarrassed. No, I don't edit my channel. The guys that watch my channel and the guys that watch me when I'm live know when I'm wrong, I admit it, I'm wrong. I always say we're in the basement. You don't get any lower than that. Of course you're going to make mistakes in the basement. I'm a 4 decades New York Jet fan. How smart a guy could I be? So that's how I am on here. I admit it when I'm wrong, and I admit it when I get something wrong. And the people that come at me or attack me over that, I don't care about that. Please leave the comments and drop the likes because that's all I care about. You want to troll me and talk crap? I don't care. I don't care. That's a personal problem that you have, not me. So anyway, thank you to all the people. This is an amazing sport. The athleticism is unbelievable. The athleticism is unbelievable. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to continue to go on this footy journey with you guys, and I'm going to continue to go on the Brisbane Lions journey to come back and get the premiership that was just stolen from them last year. Stolen. I will say stolen because they should have won it. Just a kick here, a pass there, what have you. Anyway, we're moving on. We're playing Greater Western Sydney. They're going to go down next week. The Hawks are going to beat Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide, another team that was on a streak going into the finals. 6 in a row. Including a destruction of the Swans, and they got embarrassed. And by the way, thank you also to those that told me that the Western Bulldogs, technically that wasn't a home game. Now, see, that's something I didn't know. They played in the Hawks Stadium, is that correct? Technically, because they finished higher on the ladder. This is what I'm told in the comments. They finished higher on the ladder, which made them not the home. I mean, technically the home team, but they weren't the home team, technically, because I said, wow, they got embarrassed at home. Thank you for that as well, because I didn't realize that they weren't really the home team like Port Adelaide was. So, and the Gabba, like they are. Almost unbeatable there. Almost unbeatable. Guys, thank you so much. Subscribe, bell notice, like button, drop your comments down below. I'll see you all on the next one. I'm Johnny Basement, and I am out. Lions!